Hi, welcome to my podcast. Today, we'll be talking about points to consider when deciding if you wish to work from home as opposed to getting a commercial lease and brick and mortar location. Specifically, let's discuss the pros and cons of working from home. Some of the pros of working from home can include 1. Having the freedom to set your own work schedule to have a better work-life balance. Having the flexibility to care for elderly parents or young children. Having to spend less time commuting to and from work and thereby saving on transportation costs. And finally, another pro to working from home is that you can create healthier lifestyle choices. All of that sounds great, but before you start designing your home office to start working from home, let's consider some of the cons of working from home. Getting work done and being productive at home requires a high level of discipline. In addition, a con to working from home is that the lines can be blurred in terms of when you're working and when you're not working. But most importantly, one of the cons is that you have to work harder to gain the trust of your clients when you're not meeting them personally face to face. So let's talk about the pros of working from home. When you first start working for yourself and become your own boss, you get to set your own work schedule. Because you won't have a set time to be at the office, you can decide what time to turn on the laptop or if you're even going to work that day. Setting your own work hours and schedule means that you get to make more time for your elderly parents or children or spend time the way you want. When I first started working for myself, I was happy that I was finally able to go to my children's field trips as a chaperone, something that I couldn't do before because it conflicted with my work schedule. The best perk of working from home is allowing yourself the freedom and flexibility to spend time in a way that is meaningful to you, and because you call the shots in setting your own hours. In addition, working from home means that you can work evening hours safely and you're not alone in a brick and mortar location by yourself at late hours of the night. In the first couple of years, I had to work late hours because I didn't have the money to pay for an employee to help me get the work done. I was luckily getting a lot of work during the day. I had to do that work by myself. I would come in at 9 in the morning and be there to see the clients. Once I was done with appointments and all the clients were gone around 5 o'clock, then I had to do the work that I was contracted for. That was the time where I listened to music and just started knocking out all of the work. But that means that I would leave the office like around 11 o'clock at night. Obviously, that's not a sustainable method of doing work long term, but it was what I had to do in the early years to be able to provide for my family and to establish myself as a trusted business person in the community. So that's why I mentioned that working from home late at nights is a lot safer if you're working from home because you're already home. Working from home lets you pick up where you left off, like when your kids are finally in bed or after you have cared for your elderly parents and you're done finished running all of the errands, you can get back to work at any time. Another pro of working from home is that it allows you to spend less time commuting back and forth from your home to your office, which in turn allows you to get more work done during the day. The less you commute, the more time you'll have to answer calls, draft forms, email clients, and just manage your business altogether. Not to mention, the less time you spend commuting, you're going to save on transportation costs such as gas, parking, meter parking citations, wear and tear on your car, etc. So that's one of the pros of working from home. Another pro is creating a healthy lifestyle. Working from home will allow you to create a flexible schedule, which will allow you to incorporate certain aspects of healthy living into your routines. You can get an extra workout in, you'll have time to cook healthier meals for your family, which means that you're not limited to the gas station fried chicken down the block. Healthier decisions are made when you're at home, but that's assuming you don't have lots of chips in the cupboard and those kinds of snacks. So working from home allows you to make healthier choices to incorporate into a healthier lifestyle. Let's talk about the cons of working from home. One of them being you have less privacy when doing Zoom calls online. On your client's end, there may be other people in their home, and the client might not be forthcoming with information, maybe because they don't know if they can trust you, or maybe because someone is listening to them talk. So if you're meeting with people virtually, you're kind of losing that trusting connection that sometimes is made by meeting a person physically in person. And that can be lost. So even though we can do client meetings by video virtually, it does not give off the same warmth, trustworthy effect. And that's something that should be taken into consideration. Also, scheduling conflicts. It's harder to meet clients on short notice when you're working from home. So this is a con. So let's say, for example, you're in your pajamas, you just put the tea on, the client has an emergency, or you realize that you need something from the office. Then it's harder to meet with clients on short notice or to just get up and go and get straight to work when you're working from home. Also, although you might have a printer and a scanner at your house and you have certain equipment accessible to you, it's not the same as having access to the equipment or the software that you need, like when you have it in your office. There's some softwares like form preparation software that you can only put on one laptop, and you're not able to access it virtually unless you subscribe to a special service that allows you to be at home and log into your computer remotely and access that same software as if you were sitting in front of that computer directly. That software is called Go to My PC. They're not a sponsor to this podcast, but I am only letting you guys know about it because it's one of the ways to work around having software that's not available online or cloud-based. So going back to my point though, not being in the office could delay in you getting the clients what they need when they need it. So that's a valid concern. Also, connectivity issues working from home are also a concern, such as internet and Wi-Fi. I know that in San Francisco, it's really expensive to live here. So some people have to rent the in-laws of people's homes, and the internet is not as stable because everyone wants to be on the internet at the same time. Or maybe you have a big family and everyone's on the cell phone downloading TikTok videos while you're trying to work. So that's one thing you have to be concerned about, connectivity issues, whether it's for the phone and internet. Also, like my phone calls that I pay for is through Ring Central. It's a phone service where when the phone rings in my office, it also rings on my cell phone. But sometimes I don't get the calls because the signal for some reason doesn't allow it. Also, if sometimes I do pick up a call, when it does come through, then me and the client are having a spotty connection due to the spotty signal. And obviously that does not sound professional. So I try not to take calls, even if they do come through. Like when I'm getting ready for work, sometimes I get calls and I try not to pick them up. I let them go to voicemail, just so that we're not having that spotty connection and we're saying, can you hear me now? However, a missed call can be missed money. So definitely something to take into consideration regarding your connectivity issues away, from an office. Another con from working from home is that sometimes your family might not take you seriously when you're at home working. Let's say, for example, you're caring for an older parent. They might not respect your time schedule. So let's say you decide that you're going to work from 10 to 2 and your clients know that. However, and your parents know that. But however, if they have a certain need, let's say, for example, they want you to go pick up their medicine at Walgreens from the location that's open 24 hours a day and you can go at any time, but maybe the parents want to have their medicine now, right? And so they're not being very respectful of your working hours because they see you there at your desk. You are easily accessible and they might not understand that you're trying to get work done. Working from home, family does tend to impose upon your time, whether it's your parents, your children, your husband, your wife. So it's important to set boundaries and create expectations with family and let them know what your hours are and ask them to, please not impose on your time when you're working. You're working hard, you're building a business. So I've heard of people putting on a specific set of headphones and then they tell their family, when I'm wearing these headphones, please do not bother me, right? So you have to come up with different tools and systems to ensure that you're able to work when you're working from home. Another con about working from home is that you can become inaccessible to the very clients that you're trying to help. Not everyone of your clients is technologically advanced. Some people don't even have access to laptops. They don't know how to use smartphones and they might not even have email. And if they do, they don't know how to use it. One of the reasons my clients who are primarily, Spanish speaking clients prefer to come to the office is because they're not going to be able to access my questionnaires online like my other clients who are very tech savvy. So it just really depends on who your clients are. Luckily, I have a good balance of, tech savvy clients and non-tech savvy clients. And I find that I do a great job at meeting my clients where they're at. Some of my clients are not going to be able to access my questionnaires online, my contract. Even if they're able to electronically sign it, they're not going to be able to do it because you don't have that capability or comfort level with technology. So that's one of the cons of, the virtual space, working from home. Also, I'm not going to have clients come to my home. I'm not giving people my home address. That's my safe haven. I don't know that many people who see clients in their home. Going on to another con is cybersecurity, right? It can be an issue. Maybe you have a laptop that everyone's using in the house, which I don't recommend that. My kids don't touch my laptop, not because I don't trust my kids, but because it's just a good habit to have. Keep, the family computer separate from the work computer. Also, if you don't have security software downloaded, then hackers can get into your system and then steal your information, or worse, your client's information. That's something to be concerned about and to take into consideration. I keep all of my files on Dropbox and do backups regularly to keep my information safe and secure. So you just have to be mindful of who has access to your client information when you work from home. And really, that's whether it's, on the laptop or on your desk physically. Another con is scattered working hours and lack of structure of the work hours. So like for some, this can be a work from home pro where you can start and stop as needed, work only the hours you want. But at the same time, it may not be very productive to have scattered working hours. I find that I'm more productive when I have to physically leave my house in order to put myself in a mental state where I can get more work done. So maybe scattered working hours isn't a good thing for everyone. It sounds good at first, but after a while, it can be a little nerve-wracking because they say that, it takes a lot of ramp up time to get back to a project after you've been interrupted. More cons for virtual space are decreased productivity. So when you're trying to be productive, there are too many distractions in your home. You got food in the fridge, you have access to the television. You tell yourself, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to watch 30 minutes of your favorite show, like maybe The Prophet. All of a sudden, 5 hours later, you're still laying there with the control in your hand on the couch. So when you're working from home, sometimes you're looking out the window and it's so sunny out there. Can't even focus because all you can think about is how much fun others are having out there. Another reason why I have decreased productivity in my house is because out of sight, out of mind. When I'm home, I'm not thinking about uploading the client's files to that one portal that would get their case moving. I know that I have to physically leave my house in order to get things done because when I go to work, I see the client's files. They're there. I'm like, okay, I have a to-do list. I get focused and I just get the work done. So you kind of have to know like the kind of person that you are because working from home requires high discipline. It's just so easy to want to sleep in or to watch your favorite shows, spend all day cooking, baking, but you do have to have high discipline in order to make your business work. Sometimes there's not going to be someone there to tell you that it's time to turn on the laptop and get to work and just, create an environment that is productive for you. And you have to show up every day or whatever hours you set for yourself, whether you have clients or not. There's always something that can be done in your business. Another thing to consider is the lack of interaction with clients, which is a con. It's so important that I'm mentioning it again. It's something that you're going to lose when you're working remotely. It seems like you must work harder to show that you're a trustworthy, credible, and accessible professional. So like I said earlier, when we walk into your office, there's still some people are concerned about whether they can trust you, whether you'll still be there in 3 weeks, whether them giving you their social security number is exposing them to fraud. I've had some come to my office and say the only reason that they're using my service, even though I cost a little bit more than other professionals in the area, was because the last person that was doing their forms were printing out the forms at the liquor store near their house, and they felt like everyone had access to their information, and they didn't like that. You must work harder to show you're trustworthy, credible, and accessible. It's hard to convey that genuine trust and concern through the screen, Well, hopefully I'm doing that, and I'm doing that well with you guys who are listening to my podcast. Another work from home con is social isolation. When you're working in an office with employees or just other people in your suite, then you're checking in with people, you're saying hi, how's your weekend? And when you're working from home, all you do is work. Working from home, there can be a high degree of loneliness. There's also missed opportunities for collaboration. If you're not meeting with other people, you're not networking and you're not trying new things. In this podcast, we've gone over what are the work from home cons and what are the work from home pros. Obviously, everyone's situation is going to be completely different, but hopefully, this podcast has given you the opportunity to have the information that you need so that you can weigh the options and select something that's right for you. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.